until we get a few more people in here. I titled this Three Cryptids. Really, one is like a group. You'll see when we get into it. There's just, in my opinion, it's might be the same creature that's being spoken about, and different nicknames are added to it, from in different regions. But me myself as a deer, and I know that like male deer have antlers. I thought about that, figured I'd pull a Meg the Stallion, and that's what everybody does that dresses up like a deer, right? If you just wore the little ears, which I do wish these antlers had ears. When I looked up the makeup for it, there's like most every deer costume had little ears on it. But anyways, I think it's just cute, the antlers, right? I've never dressed up as a deer before, and I always wanted to. And I thought it would be fun to go along with the theme to talk about things that are commonly found in the forest, not just forested areas. There's several Kentucky cryptids. I actually have like a few bonus ones thrown into, but I'm gonna start talking about the Pope Lick Monster. This is an area, it's outside of Louisville. It's near Pope Lick Creek. There's train tracks that go over. They call it a train trestle when it's like very elevated above the ground. Hey, Mr. Carey, how are you doing tonight? How was your weekend? There is a legend that there's something called the Goat Man. This is Pope Lick Creek. It can also be called the Pope Lick Monster, but it's known as the Goat Man for the most part, which is what it sounds like. This bipedal creature who is half man, half goat. Lots of shaggy fur. It has like alabaster face that's clearly human-like, but it was a few different origin stories coming along with this. One origin story was it was an escaped circus performer, somebody who was deformed, malformed, and they were angry after they escaped, and they sought to seek their revenge against anybody they could while living under this train trestle. Hey Tony, how are you? How are you? How was your weekend, Tony? Um, Honestly, I'm just gonna be transparent. I'm not doing that great, but I knew coming on here with you guys would be making me feel better. I'll talk about it at the end. It's mostly my health stuff, That's one reason I wasn't on here yesterday. I'm in like moderate to severe pain like most of the time. It's not consistent, but it comes and goes consistently. So, anyways, I figured this couldn't make me feel any worse, but I hope that I'm entertaining enough. So the second origin story to the goat man, the creature that supposedly lives in Pope Lick Creek under a train trestle. And you can see this when you Google map it, but please don't go and climb the train tracks. It is still active. Trains still go down. And just recently, it's 2019, maybe 2020-ish, somebody lost their lives trying to see if this legend was true. And that's part of the legend is like when people, oh gosh, I need to not touch my nose. When people are on the train tracks and a train comes and they try to jump off or avoid it, it's too high to just jump off of it, right? There was actually this really sad story of a couple who the girl got hit by the train and the man did happen to hold on, which is extremely difficult to do because this is an older structure and it shakes a lot. For several minutes, that man hung on for literal dear life as the train passed. It was a miracle, really. So the second origin story is a goat farmer made a deal with the devil and he sacrificed goats. He was trying to gain supernatural powers himself by doing this. And instead it like kind of turned on himself and turned him into a goat, kind of like be careful what you wish for, right? So the third story is that they're typical Native American curse story. These were sacred grounds. Native Americans cursed anybody that would do anything, on their sacred grounds for all time to come. And that is why these things happen. And this legend started around the 60s. Several people have passed away going to seek this goat man. Don't go up on the train trestle. It's not worth it. So many people have lost their lives taking pictures on train tracks too. Like I know that was very popular when we were growing up. People would get their senior pictures, often and stuff. And that's so sad to me. Isn't that awful? Hey, chill, Maddox. Hey, Jesus. Thank you. Hey, Keith. Good evening. As your peace and comfort grows with every healing breath. Thank you, Keith. Tony, doing okay. This past week has been tough. It's officially a year since the separation. I've been talking to this lady, though, who I'm really interested in. She rides horses, a prison guard, and she's very sweet and so pretty. Sounds like a neat lady, Tony. My gosh, and you cannot touch my nose. Hey, Yoder, how are you doing? Thank you. How are you doing tonight? And now I'm going to get into what I'm considering the second cryptid, but it's really a group because I think, and like other, I'm not the first person to say this. I think a lot of these are the same thing. There's this thing called bearilla. I don't know why the rilla, besides like a farmer in the 70s, 1972 to be exact, was going to check on his tobacco store, not like a store with a cashier and stuff like this, a big open barn where you dry tobacco in. And he it was early in the morning and he saw a bipedal creature with the body of a bear and the face of a dog crossing the street in front of him, and it was something about maybe silver fur on its back, so I don't know if that's part of the gorilla thing, but anyways, it's basically like there's other people that will just say this thing is Kentucky werewolf. I in my opinion, I think it might be the same thing as a beast of the land between the lakes. It's known to be a half man, half wolf. And there's a unofficial story that nobody has there's no official reports of this, but supposedly it's been lore and locals, I don't know any locals personally, or I would ask, claim that in the 70s or 80s there was a family found murdered, gashes all over them, absolutely horrible, but they avoided telling making any official reports for tourism in the area. There's also something called sheep squatch, which so a big theory I think is quite possible is that maybe there is or there was okay, I'm sorry. I'm skipping ahead to the next thing. The next thing is what might be a creature that was, listed as like died out but hadn't. But yeah, basically a bunch of creatures like that. Sounds like Bigfoot, right? Which is also very big in Kentucky. There's like a Bigfoot museum. John Cena said, "It's okay. I'm gay too." Keith, run like a deer, be as beautiful as a dove, my strong and resourceful friend. Oh, that's so sweet, Keith. Hey, what is that on your nose? It's a deer nose. I I tried a few different variations. This was the one that I thought looked best on my nose. Okay, because I thought I caught a post and it disappeared. It was my reaction, Mr. Carey said to Yoder. Hey, shot to the T. How are you doing tonight? Richard, I don't like cocaine. I just like the way it smells. Goodness. Bye, Hot Shake. So, the Wampus cat, this is something I never heard of before, and I thought that I looked into this before because I had done one video where I was talking about, there was some legends, one involved, these alien creatures. I wanted to stick to cryptids in this one, but, this is called the Wampus cat, and it's in other states other than Kentucky. I had never heard of this thing before in my life, and it is described as having 6 legs sometimes, and sometimes it's described as 4. It sounds like it's not bipedal, obviously, and it's like half cat, half woman, and there's also a few origin stories with this. It's basically like a large cat that can turn or shapeshift into a woman. And Kentucky's Wampus cat is known as having a blood-curdling scream. It sounded like it was unique to Kentucky's. Hey, Fishing Queen, how are you? Cherokee legend says a woman running deer was trying to avenge her husband standing bear. He had gone mad, and so she was trying to go after the spirit of madness, which is uh, I'm sorry, Ewa, I might be mispronouncing that. She wore a mask and was using the spirit of a mountain lion in order to do so, and she did defeat the spirit of madness, but in doing so, it gave her these supernatural spirits. She still, in this Wampus form, protects Cherokee land. And the second origin story is also Cherokee, and it says a woman was hiding, like she wasn't supposed to be there. She was eavesdropping on a sacred ritual, and when the medicine man caught her, I'm sorry, she was hiding under a mountain lion's hide. And so when he caught her to punish her, he somehow put a spell that made her like be a cat forever and ever as a spirit cat. And it's interesting, some people think it's half cat, half dog, half cat, half mink that likes to swim and hang out in the water sometimes. And this is what I thought was really interesting. Speculated that the great North American lion died out 10 to 12,000 years ago, but a lot of people think that these random sightings of this incredibly large cat. Like there are big cats. I mean, I don't know what the biggest cat would be around here. It's like not a big cat, like a bobcat, but there probably used to be more I'm not for sure. But anyways, these it definitely sounds bigger than your typical mountain lion. I've even seen a puma in Florida from a distance. And those things, they are absolutely beautiful, but I wouldn't describe it as massive, you know? Or it could be a panther, which would be more plausible because they didn't supposedly die out 10 to 12,000 years ago, right? And so, I'm sorry, I know this is kind of short. There was like a few, it's just there's not like tons of information on a lot of these, right? And like if anybody has any stories they want to write into me, I would be all about that, like sharing viewers' stories, experiences they've had, especially if it was in Kentucky, but whether or not. I just, I don't want to like repeat other people's stories word for word. There is a Harrington Lake monster. Harrington Lake is a man-made lake. It's absolutely huge. It's one of the reasons why, like, Kentucky is so known for everything to do with water. There's so many ginormous, maybe not, I shouldn't say so many. There's a few huge man-made lakes. I forget the stat on Lake Cumberland. There's some crazy stat on the shoreline of Lake Cumberland. I don't know if any of you, it's like the shoreline of Lake Cumberland equals like Lake Superior or something crazy like that. But if you look at Lake Harrington, there's like connected two or three lakes by opening, like making these dams or opening a dam. And it's this long, you think of a lake, or at least a lot of people, they don't picture this like long winding thing. It's almost like a gigantic river. And supposedly there's 12 to 15 feet long eel-like creatures with pigs' faces, or at least one. The most credible witness, some man, I believe he was a doctor. I don't know if that's why people think he's like, he lives on the lake. And he said there used to be a lot more of them, and now there's just one. I thought that was really interesting, like Loch Ness Monster of Kentucky or something. A eel with a pig-like face. So I'm gonna tell you guys, this is a little bonus story. A guy that I worked at a factory. Mm, this was when I was furloughed, and I went to the other plant, and I couldn't hang. It was like 2 or 3 weeks, and I went back on furlough because it was worlds difference. No air conditioning. They worked like 12 hours on a regular basis. Absolutely brutal. And this man that I worked with, I believe him with all my heart. He seemed completely credible to me. Older gentleman, probably in his 60s, maybe 50s. He said when a lake, I'm not going to name the lake, but it was nearby this town it was in, was made, because once again, a lot of the lakes in Kentucky are man-made. He was a boy and he was with his, I forget who it was, but they were a police officer. And his father or uncle, something like that. And they had like there was military presence while they were constructing whatever was going to be this lake, and he he was driving the police vehicle, turned their lights on because they were trying to get them to stop, and they were like, I'm a police officer. Turn my lights on and go through whatever construction site I want. And they saw them dumping barrels into what is now a big lake, and like, big on recreation and everything, just like most lakes. Lots of business, touristy stuff going on around it. And I don't know why this man, he didn't tell tall tales like that on a regular basis. I only worked with him for a few weeks, but I totally believed him when he said that. And I've told you guys before, the first time we were trying to buy a house, we put an offer in on a house in Madison, Indiana, and then we found out that it was a mile away from these proving grounds where the military will dump old chemicals, all sorts of stuff. It was like depleted plutonium. I'm sorry, depleted uranium. I forget which one. And like you can only eat X amount of fish out of the river. You can only hunt X amount of deer. You don't want to hunt any deer though. And that's what really opened my eyes. There's so many of these sites where like they don't know what to do with these horrible toxic chemicals and waste from all sorts of things, old weapons sometimes I think, and they like bury it in the ground, or I totally believe they perhaps put it at the bottom of a man-made lake. Why not? It's just like the nature of man. And I'm not saying all men. I think the horrible greedy men that are destroying the planet, they don't think ahead. They don't think about our grandchildren. They just think about we're in survival mode and they're like so far past that. They're like in money in my bank account mode, just like it's that's all they live for. So I always thought that was interesting. And like I said, I believe that guy. Pig eels, never heard of these, would be horrifying. Baby cat pawing said, yeah, baby cat pawing. I'm glad you've never gotten furloughed to wig. Nor I will not be free. Oh, I'm not going to read that one. Mr. Burns must live nearby there. Baby cat pawing. Yeah, and then the house we did buy in Indiana, the house we did buy in southern Indiana, and I told the realtor, I like to garden. I can't wait to garden. She didn't tell us until closing day, laughing, ha ha ha, don't drink the water. And then they told us how there was a groundwater spill. A guy went to prison because of it 15 years before we bought that house. The groundwater was contaminated. It used to be on well water. They took all the houses off well water, but the spigots were still on well water. I That did not sit right with me. So in my first 6 years of gardening, I couldn't use my own garden hose spigots because I didn't want to. And like my neighbor said, I wouldn't give that water to my dogs. So and it just makes me wonder like how much is going on, or like, and I wish I would have documented this. I so wish I would have documented this. I'll never forget when I saw the only place fluoridating in a pretty big city in Florida was a trailer park. I'm not freaking kidding. And it was like a retirement community, only like 50 and above were allowed, 55, whatever. Acid burn, thank you so much. That is so nice. We're gonna have a fun members only tomorrow. Mr. Carey, I don't feel like chatting much to you. It was odd to find your name next to my husband's bank account info. Okay, Anna, let's not do that in here, okay? I had to wake up to that crazy man tagging me in videos and stuff again. I don't even want to. Yeah, why don't you email him about it? No, I mean, Mr. Carey has a lot going on too. Like I told you, Anna, I've got a lot going on. Like I really don't want to deal. I'd appreciate it if you just stop bringing me up to that man, please. And I asked you this before, and you're still like, I don't want my name, my channel, my likeness in any way, shape, or form brought up to him. And I really don't think I didn't know that you thought Mr. Carey had anything to do with that. I really don't. I I'm sorry. I don't know how much you and Mr. Carey have talked, but it sounds to me like you've spent so much time talking to these people that aren't so friendly to you anymore. I would much sooner assume it was those people. It's okay, Mr. Carey, take your time. About 5,000 years ago, Native Americans started going into caves. They have proof of this. So I'm changing gears. Mammoth Cave, largest known cave system in the world, is here in Kentucky. And they have proof that the Native Americans used to use the caves. They would mine minerals from the caves, just like people did a few hundred years later, a few thousand years later. But about 3,000 years after they started going into the caves around here, about 2,000 years ago, they stopped. Isn't that interesting? I found that to be so interesting, and I wanted to tell you guys about it. Is the Kentucky deer. They're it does. Oh, I hope that's not what it looks like. Because when I put black right here, it just, I don't know, it just looked funny. And when I was trying to do the black, like lining my lip, it was like bleeding too much. My mature old lady skin. But anyways, so I had to use this like brown eyeshadow. Um, she never showed me, Mr. Carey said. Okay, so isn't that crazy? The Indians used the caves for a few thousand years and then they just stopped going in for a few thousand more. For 2,000 years, they didn't go into the caves. And experts think it may be because spiritual beliefs by the natives, like they began to think at a certain point in time that the caves were a portal to the spiritual world. So I thought that was super duper interesting. I know that most people probably do feel like it's like otherworldly. In my opinion, going in a cave is the next thing to going at outer space. I don't know, maybe like deep, deep sea exploration would be similar. I think that would also be like being in another world, really, you know? And it would make sense to me that imagine early cave exploration when they had torches as their lights, and like it's just amazing. And I do want to make a video on like the first known cave. He was actually an enslaved black man here in Kentucky, was the first person to really start mapping the Mammoth Cave system. And I think that that is super duper interesting. What on earth would make them use such a tradition for several generations? For 3,000 years, Native Americans used the caves and then they just stopped. And then for several more generations, they they knew that they just didn't use those caves anymore. And um, when we started using them, there was a mineral that they use for gunpowder. And on my Lost River Cave video, I show there's like a bunch of little buildings all around the property. They had several, it was like where they stored the powder. They had several of them because it was so likely to explode. They needed like several places to store it. Isn't that crazy? Um, Add a Q&A sticker. A talent you wish you had. This is funny, guys. I'm gonna try to do this since I am done with my script. I hold on. I can't change the question. I don't really like that. No, I'm not doing that. It's gonna like force me to put a talent. And then is it asking me or is that asking you guys? I'm confused. 6 or 8,000 years ago, we lay down the law, Mesopotamia. Bat guano, baby cat pawing. It's actually the bat guano that is what you're right. It's that turns into or that has the I should know, was it potassium sulfide, something like that. You're right. That's what they are scraping off of the walls. It's the bat guano, which if you didn't know, that's bat poo. But yes, I don't know. Was I showing my vapes? Show you guys my pumpkins. I grew these. I grew all of these. Eventually, one day, I'll get my pumpkin patch video out. It's not that eventful. Honestly, it wasn't worth it. Um, hold on one second. Answer that text. Sorry about that. Hey, Gary, how are you doing? Um, I am okay. Can you tell what I am now? I know maybe I was too close. Yash, do you know what I am? And I know I use like white eyeshadow for the spots, and so it's not like that. I'm I'm a goof. Yes, I am. I'm a goofy girl. It's fun to dress up with you guys. Like for you guys, I guess I should say. I don't dress up like with my kids, like I know I had plenty of opportunity why did I say opportunity like that? Over the years. I could have any Halloween, dressing up my kids, but I don't know. I just anytime I see moms dressing up, I think it's cute, but like I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel conceited or like too much or anything. It's like one of these days, one of these days I'm gonna be 6 feet under and I'm gonna be glad I did it. I'm sorry. I really do like mean it in like the most positive way you could be about it. If you just always remember you're going to die, it really helps with a lot of stuff. But I guess that's really if you're like okay with dying more so than people that aren't gonna be really helped by that. So I talked about three Kentucky cryptids, Gary. I don't know how interested you are in that, but I think that a lot of the reason why there might, I don't know, compared to other states, it seems like every region has like every region of Kentucky, because every region of Kentucky has so much nature. It really is. I know I'm partial, but it is like such a beautiful state. I think a lot of the like national parks, if you aren't familiar with David Paulides, he has books. I don't own any of the books, but I've been following him for years and years. He's written a lot of good books. He calls them Missing 411, and it talks about people that have gone missing in national parks. And I know there's some people that think a lot of his work is controversial. I don't know how, like, anybody can be picked apart, right? It's like no matter what you say about anything. I don't believe in like everything he says necessarily, but because he'll like draw certain conclusions. Like it does seem like a lot more happens around full moons and things like that. And hey, Hayden, how are you doing tonight? When I traveled to Kentucky from Illinois, I always had great experiences, especially the people, Tony said. Yes, they really are. Like, there's definitely a lot of people that aren't nice anywhere you go, right? And even when I've said things about like when you get more rural, there's a YouTuber, Diamond in the Stick. She's in here sometimes. She lives in Eastern Kentucky, and she'll say the same thing about where she lives. It's just like the more rural and the more eastern you get, like you're not going to be is invited by everybody. That's all. But I think most of Kentucky is, like, mostly very extremely welcoming, and if you, um Whenever I move somewhere, I always have this attitude of like anybody in the immediate surroundings that doesn't like us. Now we have Kentucky plates, and we had Indiana plates. I swear we got a lot more attitude. It's like we're neighbors. We're the same country. It's so funny to me. But there was also so many people that when I lived in Indiana, I can't keep count how many people talked crap about Kentucky. But it was just like Louisville is such a great city. Anybody talking crap about Kentucky lives an hour away from Louisville. They go to Louisville sometimes. And it's just kind of like this. And some of it is even like IU versus UK. It's so dumb. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to rile anybody up, but like I don't understand being super obsessed with college sports unless like you know somebody on that team, like you play for the team or like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, people are so serious about their basketball and football in Indiana. Oh my gosh. Like, you can't be friends with somebody that doesn't. No times you live close to the Guitar Center in Louisville. I wish I could have ran into you. That's so funny. I think, like, it's only a matter of time, right? And if I do run into anybody, like, unless you hate my guts, please introduce yourself to me, please. I would rather have I'll never forget one of my good friends, we met each other online, and then she saw me in the, social services. It was, like, when my son was on that Medicaid waiver, like, she saw me somewhere, and then she wrote me, she's like, "I saw you at da 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 today," and I was like, "Why didn't you say something?" Like, "Why didn't you?" And then I did end up meeting her in Florida. 'Cause I invited her to Florida. She had never seen the ocean before. Yeah, she was my friend who passed away at the age of 34, and she's one of the people I live in honor of, and she was from Louisville, native. She was so great. "There's a bunch of phonies here in Illinois," Shot to the T said. I feel like that about and I hate to say that about Indiana. In Indiana, people don't even wave to each other in the country anymore. And I was talking to this woman at the Korean factory I worked at here, and she was from Indiana. And I told her that I was like, like when I was a teenager, you get a lot of waves, and it's like things have changed. And I've noticed, and I don't have a problem with this personally. There's like so many cops in the countryside in Indiana. I'm barely ever there, but I like to take the back roads, and it's interesting to me because you don't usually see that, and it's also sad because I think that says a lot, right? Like, when we were searching for a house there's, like, this government website, it's, like, known meth houses, it's so sad. You don't wanna accidentally buy a house where people have been cooking meth in it, and that can be really bad for your health. Gary said, "We're all Americans, right?" And I think, I don't even know what that means, Hayden, but I'm gonna show it because why not? Tony, they are like a cult sometimes. I've just always been one of those weird guys who don't watch sports. Well, I don't wanna I feel like I'm smudging. I don't want to insult anybody, but like, it I I'm oh my gosh. I lost a friend saying, "I'm so glad my husband doesn't watch sports," because she was, like, complaining to me about her husband and how obsessive he is with sports and how it ruins his whole week, and then I said that and I do understand looking back how that was shitty of me, I get it, but, like, I thought we were way closer than that. We were just internet friends, but, like, we had sent each other books and, like, packages and anyways, she never talked to me again. She got so mad. Like, see how women are like, I thought I could the same way you're complaining about your husband, I thought I could, like, be like, "Oh god, yeah, like, I hear ya," 'cause, like, I wouldn't put up with that. I'd have to be into sports too. Victims have copper in them. What are you talking about, acid burn? I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, Moo Tines. It was actually, like, in that video because I showed the used guitars my son, and he was playing I meant to ask him if he was playing a Three Doors Down song earlier today. I swear it was, Three Doors Down. But he is one of those people, when he was younger, he picked up an acoustic guitar and, like, played a melody. My sister was like that. She could, like, listen to something. She doesn't even play instruments, and she'll still, like, play shit by ear. I told you about her before. She's very talented musically. We've got a lot of musical talent in our family. Their dad went to school for audio engineering, didn't really do anything with it, but um, So it makes me really happy. And like he was playing an instrument in band, and then he stopped that once we moved to Kentucky, and that made me really sad. And he kept saying he would have stopped anyways in Indiana, but that made me really sad because I'm not just saying this. He was really good at it. And it makes me happy to see him pick up an instrument again. I want to start learning to play the piano again. I've got a touch sensitive keyboard. But yeah, we got an amp too used. Oh, excuse me. But, really, really excited for him. He's such a good kid. I think he had a great 16th birthday. Everything a 16-year-old could want, he got for his birthday, basically. And he's the kind of kid that deserves it. And most 16-year-olds do, don't get me wrong, but he really does deserve it. And he's poor thing. He's always going through something. He's my kid that got diagnosed with cyclical vomiting syndrome, and I'm not going to go any more into it, but I said, "Vitamins, damn phone." Vitamins. Oh, see, some vitamins do. And acid burn, would you agree with me? I think that's a sign of a good vitamin if they do have copper, right? Or am I wrong? I've just never seen what I would consider shitty vitamin that had copper. And usually it's like copper, manganese. Thank you, so Joe. I was gonna say Solgot before I said Joe. Thank you. I like playing them, but watching them, I fall asleep. Acid burn, I hate this phone too. Hey, Oki, how are you? I talked about cryptids like the first 12, 15 minutes of this, but we're not talking about that anymore. I Oh, thank you. Okay, that's nice. Well, honestly, I think there's probably like 4 or 5 people that like religiously thumb my stuff down, and I'm fine with that. So anytime I see a number, I always like add 5 to it in my head and don't let the haters get to me because they're not going to really, mess with me anyways. But yeah, I've got that man that's like twice my age making videos about me, and I hope everything's okay with Mr. Carey. Are you a reindeer from New Zealand? No, I'm Steve-O'd. I'm a deer. I guess what would it be? Like, what are they called? White-tailed deer here in Kentucky? What's the deal with reindeer from New Zealand and Steve-O'd? I believe we have reindeer, wouldn't it be like in Alaska here? Let's talk about it. Yeah, does anybody have any questions for it was so funny, our first property we bought here, the neighbor was, like, trying to teach us about deer, like, he thought, like, we like, literally what you would tell people if they had never heard about deer, ever encountered a deer before, it's like it was funny. Some people would call that mansplaining, I didn't consider it that, he was just trying to be helpful, but yeah, we didn't stop and tell him, like, "If you knew where my husband was from, you're talking about" dear. But, who's making videos about you? Okay, that same guy, I don't know if you were around last time. I think this happened since because I made a post, but I deleted it. Um, you look like you're 28. Acid burn. Thank you. It's just, so remember when I made that video talking about the false prophet, Titus Morris? Somebody in his camp that claims to be against him, but he's obsessed over me. And honestly, Anna Yoder, who was in here, if you're still lurking, Anna, I would say this to your face. I think you need to stop talking to me about him. I'm begging you to stop. She just sent me a screenshot earlier today where she like was talking about me to him, and you need to like stop it. And I'm sorry, you start going back and forth with him and he's starting to make videos about me again. I don't know who wouldn't think like this, but I'm beginning to think like we need to not talk at all anymore because I asked you to not do that and now here we are. And yeah, so I got a hysterectomy in April. At my 6-week appointment, she said, "You're still not quite healed. Wait 2 more weeks." You know what that means because the world revolves around that, right? 2 more weeks of pelvic rest and you should be good to go, and things did seem okay, and then I started bleeding, like, 4 months after, which is a big no, you don't wanna be bleeding when you have what they call a vaginal cuff, and I'm only saying this is embarrassing for me, guys, okay? It is embarrassing, and then, of course, I have to get 20 more people once I start talking about my sock puppet. This is embarrassing. But it's the second most common surgical procedure for women, second to C-sections. And, like, we just nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about how hard it is to heal from this. It's not 6 weeks and you're healed. No, it's not. A few weeks ago, I had to get cauterized, which is where they take this, like, silver nitrate, and if you ever had a baby that had to have their belly button cauterized, it's the same thing. It's just like this chemical on a Q-tip. It's no big deal. It hurts like hell, but it's not, just done real quick in the office. Another thing they say, "This isn't gonna hurt. This isn't supposed to hurt. Let me know if it hurts." I'm like, "Yeah, that hurts." And then when I go and do research, people are like, "It hurts, it hurts." They sometimes they give you stuff for it, like, pain. Like, what? She was making it sound like she had to stop doing it. If she would have told me this is going to hurt, but I'm gonna have to do, I would have just sat there and taken it. You know what I mean? But it's because of her being like, if it hurts, let me know. And then I'm kind of annoyed because honestly, I've been in more pain since that. I'm not bleeding anymore, but now I'm in more pain than I was before. And it's really hard to be my usual cheery, bubbly self for my kids and the people who deserve it when I'm feeling literal, constant, off and on, sharp shooting pain. So, thoughts and prayers are appreciated. I have no time, I have no energy for anybody that is going to say anything. I'd have nothing to do with Henson's GoFundMe. I have literally nothing to do with that. And I don't have to prove that to anybody. He is unstable. I want nothing to do with him. Oh, Belle, I'm okay. Well, see, and I have an appointment for November 15th because when I called and told them how bad the pain was, they're like, "Well, as long as you're not bleeding, like you can't be seen until November 15th." I'm like, "I'd really like to be seen before then, but that's the life of a woman. The pathetic one. I shouldn't be allowed to vote because I can't work on an oil rig, but I have to put up with like ungodly pain most of my adult life since the age of 10." I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to take it out on anybody that doesn't deserve it to be taken out on, but like that's why I couldn't sit last night. And I'm probably not going to be on here that much longer tonight. It's really sad. And then I worry about what is going on in my body. I have three hernias. I had two going into the surgery. A third hernia was created during the surgery. What is my life? Yeah, I really feel for anybody that's like going through medical stuff, that's trying to get a diagnosis, that has no answer, that has chronic pain, that has doctors telling them, well, as long as it's not bleeding, you can wait 3 weeks. The same shit happened with the hole, literal hole in my, you could see at the very top of my gum, a hole in my sinus is communicating with my gum. And people that had like, I know cavities hurt. I've had those before too, but people that needed root canals got in before me. I had a hole. Imagine having it help. I couldn't move my head any more than this. If I went like an inch up or an inch down, excruciating pain. Nobody believes you when you're a petite little woman talking about how much pain you're in. And like the one dentist that actually took out the bad root canal that was calcified into my jawbone that created the sinus hole, I had to literally throw a fit like a toddler, kick my feet and tell him, I can't take this anymore. I'm getting pain every time I bite down. And then I'm the hysterical, histrionic woman. And then you're crazy for showing your emotions. I don't think people understand how much pain most women are in before they start complaining about it. That's like that typical, like, we get sick, we have a bad cold, we like suck it up and we can deal with it easier. And there is proof to like estrogen helping with that. So, and there's certain generalizations. I'm sorry. See, look, if we could get 50 people to double tap that screen right quick, that would be awesome. Bullet head, thank you. How are you doing? Because you already know how I'm doing. Tony, yeah, he's not even worth it. He clearly is begging for content. It's petty, but in my opinion, it should be a compliment that you're getting even trolls. Tony, I do look at it like you're really a YouTuber. Oh, I saw this lady reacted to one of my videos and she was being sweet. It was involving the situation, not this guy, the Titus Morris situation. And that was really cool because I was like, oh no, what is she gonna say about me? And then like she was cool and that made me feel she's also a small YouTuber. She's doing what I would like to do, like have the screen share with you guys. Um, I'm a dear. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Peter Perez, at the first 15 minutes, I talked about three Kentucky cryptids. Well, one's like a group of cryptids. And then I talked about a few bonus things. What I thought was super interesting, and I don't know how we can have a conversation about this, but don't you guys think it's interesting that Native Americans used caves for 3,000 years and then they decided to stop? And I was like, oh, like after thousands of years, we decided it's like a portal to the spirit world. That is so interesting to me, and I am a firm believer that there are things like portals to other dimensions that, that we don't know about, or we're not, like, made privy to. Crazy liberal. Chris Casey, I've been a registered independent since 18, and I actually lean to the right if you spent any time in here. You are blessed beyond stress. Okay, I like that. The trolls are getting worse. Some men are terrible. Yeah, some men are terrible. Some men commit over 91% of all violent crime and like make us all less safe, men and women. Every time we leave the house, it really sucks. Oh gosh, I always tell myself I'm going to remember his exact channel's name before I bring him up again. There's this one young guy, I found his channel. I just think what he's doing is so great for young men. Every man of any age needs to watch this. Gerbert's Void. I think that's what it is. He must be in his early to mid 20s. Great example of a kid from that generation. I'm sorry, when you're almost 40 years old, people that are like 25 are kids, but I know that's kind of like patronizing him because he is brilliant and he makes a lot of content about adult media, about why it's not healthy, and you know, he's very open about how he grew up with it, and it's so great to see a young man like him overcome all of it and then go out of his way to try to like enlighten other people. I'm sure he gets tons of trolls, but the comments are so most of them are so great. It's just a good example of good men, like the good men that we do all need, that do keep the whole world running. Those men. Hi, Tom. How are you? Did something happen to you? Peter said. Well, I was just talking about like I'm not healing right from my hysterectomy. You can only vote if you work in an oil rig. I was just joking, Nicholas, that some people don't think women should be able to vote, basically. I know it wasn't that funny of a joke, right? But they think that because men do all the tough jobs and because they think women literally are like irrational. But once again, we don't consider the aggression that commits 90% of violent crimes an emotion. I'm sorry for you. Get better soon. Thank you, Gary. Who taught what, Nicholas? I don't know what you're talking about now. I'm sorry. Tony, both of you, Chris, are about to be muted. Be respectful early. Thank you. Well, I mean, no, that's okay. You can leave comments like Chris's because anybody that, like, some crazy people in this world, prime example on the screen, anybody that's going to comment that, they're just going to invite more people into my channel. And it really only makes him look like a whiny bitch. I mean, let's be real. I don't have a uterus, Ben. I can't be on the rag anymore. I just talked about getting a hysterectomy for like 10 minutes straight. What the fuck? You guys, you need to get some critical thinking skills. You need to work on oh my gosh, now my brain, critical thinking, what is it when you examine literature? Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. They like obviously stopped teaching it in school when you just examine a story and ask questions about it and see how different people interpret it in different ways. And they just like tell everybody what to think about the exact same thing. And anybody that like goes into YouTube lives randomly, I'm sorry. Oh, Chris, no. Hey, Pyramid, how are you? McDouble with cheese. Women are no better than man. Yeah, I don't think anybody's any better than anybody. I had a rhinestone fall. I just don't think that I shouldn't be able to vote. Now I'm all paranoid. I wish I knew where it went. Surely I wouldn't drink it. Wasn't there another makeup a bit more expensive? Yeah, Osnet, and I don't want to buy more expensive makeup for one night for mostly trolls like you. I have more things to spend money on. Um, okay, let's hide that. Talking about schmoabortion. Oh, hey, Rebecca, how are you? I remember reading something about natives in the Midwest associating certain areas with negative spirits, but one theory is that they were actually suffering from copper toxicity in those places. That is really interesting. We were talking about copper and vitamins just earlier. Some of you guys are assholes, to be honest. Pyramid said that. Well, see why I talk about a lot of the stuff that I do, Pyramid. Like you can't even be a woman in comment sections of like news articles or news show, videos without whiny, undeveloped men jumping down your throat. And I know women do it too. There are women. Like the last time I was on Facebook, I this lady would not she seriously, like, it was incredible. She made, like, 12 comments to 1 comment of mine talking about how Aldi's doesn't have that good of food. And she's like, "Aldi's is so great." And I was just like, really read the ingredients, though, it's not. You're not getting any bang for your buck. I'm sorry, if you have to shop there, like, I've shopped at Aldi's a lot too. Like, the gluten-free, the organic stuff can be great, but, like, the actual Aldi's brand, you think you're, like, making saving all this money. There's, like, 10 preservatives in the stuff that's like, yeah, it'll be 25 cents more at Walmart, and it'll have, like, 1 or 2 preservatives. I'm not kidding, and I was just, like, trying to be helpful, and that's why I don't get along with groups of women. I'm not gonna answer any of the, like, two-year-old questions. "Why is the sky blue?" I'm not gonna answer any of that shit, okay? But leave them up because it does help get, like, 40 people in here. FYI, Lydia, thumbs down isn't bad at all. It's an interaction all YouTube cares about. Yes, Oki, definitely, you're right. Definitely. And the people, like, that do religiously thumbs down my stuff, like, I couldn't the way I look at it, like, I don't you guys can I'm not I mean this with all my heart. I feel genuinely bad for adults that would hate on somebody. Like, there's millions of people on YouTube. There's always gonna be people you don't like. I couldn't imagine subscribing to somebody and, like, some people are subscribed to me that thumbs it down immediately. Like, there's somebody that obviously doesn't have a fucking job and they thumbs down my shit. And then they have like a few accounts and they'll thumbs it down a few. And like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking sad and pathetic. I'm not the one bringing a baby into the world into filth with nothing substantial after getting my other three firstborn children taken away from me. Gosh, you can't shame me. Oh my gosh, why didn't I do this before? That's much cute. Isn't that much cuter? That's what it looks like more, right? Um, True. Just when they keep picking and picking at you, my patience get thin. But I do want the best for you and your channel. I took a huge step back from moderating to trying to think what's best for you. Tony, you're so sweet. You are definitely, I feel like you're probably like us. I was looking at there was this video I saw, and I know this sounds like, well, duh, you're sensitive. You're going to be more sensitive. But this one woman, she put it so well. She's like, when you're a very sensitive person, people can often make you feel like you're too much. I know, that, right? Like you're too much. And like, but it's that same part of you that's too much, that's too sensitive, that takes it to heart when you see your friend get shit on, like, that seems to feel more about these bad situations than other people around you feel about them. That's that part of you that will also get to experience life to a fuller extent because you do care so much and you're so sensitive. You get to love more. You get to experience like more joy. And I feel like that is what makes me bubbly when I'm that does is what makes me happy. Like I didn't tell my sister that I was in horrible pain. I sent her cute pictures of my cat and dog because like, it what's the point? I know I told you guys, but, sometimes when you deal with chronic pain, it's like, what's the point of telling anybody, you know? Like, they can't do anything about it, and, it almost makes you feel worse when you feel like a burden that just sits around and talks about your chronic pain. But and I hate to label that. I can't even enjoy the fact I don't have a period anymore because I've been dealing with so much bullshit since I got the surgery. And, like, my incisions were weird because she said my veins were like 4 people she's ever done surgery on. I have really weird, tiny, numerous veins. And so I had a skin infection that was incredibly painful. I have a picture of it. I don't know if I'll ever show it on YouTube, but you can see the redness and the inflammation, my whole side. That was where the hernia was created. And ever since that surgery, I feel something every time I breathe in my side. And it's not always painful. Most of the time, it's just like a sensation because I'll probably have to deal with these 3 hernias the rest of my life. So when it comes to all the shit I've had to deal with, like, happy Halloween to you, Wallenberg. Mean people that are actually fueling my channel don't bother me as much, and I don't want them to bother you, Tony. But I really appreciate like having a friend that cares. 'Cause often I'd be the person, like, sticking up for people, and then, like, I would feel like and you shouldn't do it just to get people to stick up for you, but then I'd be like, "I wish I had a friend like me." Jesus loves Aldi. F Walmart. I love Aldi's, Christmas stuff. I love, like, their items. I bought lots of clothes at Aldi's, you know what I mean? They're non-perishable items. I bought lots of Christmas chocolate. Their German chocolate is awesome. But this mom was talking about basically like you should feed your whole family from Aldi's. I don't agree. And then the organic stuff, like it really you don't get much portion. Like a single person, it would be great. But if you have a family to feed, I don't know. But I do love their like business model, and I think that it would be nice if more stores learn from them. And Aldi seems to be like Chick-fil-A. They just seem to be good about hiring good people, you know? Um, Love the Swiss Miss girl look, very beautiful. Swiss Miss Blood Legion. Tyler, what's in eggs? Somebody asked me this before. What's up with that? That's some kind of like trick question. Walmart and Aldi are my go-to for everyday staples. Yeah, I would love to say that I just go to a farm. We used to like seriously, it was like 9 months out of the year was a farm food. We would just go to a farmer's market once a week, but I haven't been doing that. It's about that time of year where you can't do that anymore either, but, um, yeah, it's about time for anybody that can to start a garden, to start a garden. They hate us because they hate us. Yes, trolls will be trolls. You be you, and to hell with everyone else, Blood Legion said. I will be, I promise, Blood Legion. I really don't care. Conflict gets clicks. Lydia had the whole chat freaking out with Leonard, was awesome. All for fun, though. It's true. I had panic attacks so bad it felt like heart attacks. Rochelle, oh, I feel for your pain. Thank you, Rochelle. I'm so sorry to hear that you've had panic attacks that were like physically painful like that. I'm so sorry. And that's like a feeling I wouldn't wish upon anybody, even these people that I'm talking about that are like mean to me, because I really do unto others. Like I mean it. Like unless somebody's literally threatening me or my child in real life, like I'm never gonna wish ill upon them. And all I can describe panic attacks that I've had is like you're drowning in air, and it's a absolutely horrible feeling. I started cutting my internet consumption. I realized it's a waste of time. I'd rather get productive. That's good, Jesus. Tangles could be a vertebrae. Tony, it's because you deserve respect. I wouldn't waste my time trying to be around for your lives if you and your thoughts, opinions weren't worth it. Oh, thank you, Tony. Yeah, and it's part of the game, and like the way I look at it is like if I had like one or two people, which is fine if you start off on a live and you only get one or two people, that's fine. But I'm just saying like the people, I think they see that I have like a few people watching, and the chat's also going to be small enough because it's not hundreds of people watching, that they get to see if they can make somebody feel bad. And I mean it. It's like I feel bad for you if that's how you spend your Sunday night. As introverted as I am, and like I've always had a hobby or a friend to talk to or music to listen to or something I would rather do than like it's almost like I hate what's the other word? We used to call it NIGGA, knocking. I know that's so inappropriate now. Ding dong ditch, ding dong ditch. That's what I'm talking about when you go and knock on somebody's door and run away. That's such a jackass thing to do, and I think, like, we did that a few times when we were younger. Okay, I'm not just saying this. I really am not just saying this. I was always a lookout. I literally never went and knocked on somebody's door, and I'm not just saying this to sound like a saint, because I was so, like, shy and, like, I didn't but I would laugh when my sisters went and did it, and then one night, my sister had to go jump in somebody's truck bed because somebody popped outside with the flash. And it was like an hour or 2. We were, like, freaking out. Anyways, they never got caught, and we stopped doing it after that. So I think about, like, I would never, ever in my 30s ever even consider that, or in my 20s. And, like, when you're young and dumb and you think stuff like that is funny, like, I'm basically saying that's how I feel about the trolls that, like, it's like ding dong ditch to them. "I've been stuck on steak and potatoes lately," Rochelle said. "That sounds good. I could eat potatoes every day." And, Michaela Peterson says that she's eaten nothing but red meat in like 7 years now. In my opinion, I don't see how that could be healthy for somebody, but she's like so well off. I bet she gets like blood work and supplements with supplements she needs because if you ate nothing but red meat for 7 years, wouldn't you get scurvy? That is what scurvy is like. It's a vitamin C deficiency, right? You can't get vitamin C from red meat. Don't eat the yolk. Hi, Stephen. Eggs have 6 to 8 grams of protein. Yeah, I'm gonna like yeah, you can block anybody you want to, but it's, like, not great for the lives. And, yeah, we usually just, like, time people out. I would hate to get, like, a block list that's, like, super duper long, and then you might get a little like, I don't know how to describe it. I wanna keep tabs on how many people I blocked, if that makes sense. I know if my channel keeps growing at a certain point, that's probably not gonna be y'all ever light a bag of poop on a porch and ring the doorbell? I dang near burnt a house down. Oh my gosh. Okay. No. I TP'd a house with a friend once, but it was like this like friendly rivalry thing where it's like we weren't scared of getting caught. Like I think they knew we were doing. But I never did that. And I think we threw eggs. It like this was a somebody was mad at somebody. But yeah, that's like the most scandalous things I ever did in high school. I really was like a goody two shoes before I had that bad trip. Thank you, cute potato. Ate a 14-ounce porter today. Oh, made on the Traeger. I don't know what that is, Steven. Is that a gas grill or enlighten me? That sounds good. Grass-fed beef is recommended to eat every day of your life. Yeah. Yeah, if I could afford to, I would. Grass-fed, grass finished. I don't know. Like I don't mind some grain. I think I like it when there is some grain. And I had somebody that raised cows say that. They're like, "Oh, I don't like the way it tastes." Because like you have to get kind of used to grass-fed meat sometimes. You are interesting, intriguing, smart, and to talk about many important topics. I guess I'm sensitive that I let them bother me, but it's because I see they don't even know you and say shit. Yeah, Tony. No, I get it. I appreciate it. And it used to get to me too, but that's another reason I feel like I have gotten monetized in the last few months. Like I really got over that and me and my sister were talking about it, like the law of attraction. It's like it's a letting go is a big part of it. You don't just sit there and like thank the universe. You're not like, thank you for giving me what I want over and over again. You're like, you pray and like be thankful and act like you already like feel it, like you have it, but then you don't think about it constantly, right? And like, um, yeah, I cook it with fresh herbs in the crock pot. Oh, that sounds really good. No, I don't really do scratch tickets. I'm too poor for that. I'd feel bad if I bought to if I spent money on that, you know what I mean? You eat half a dozen a day. That's good, Stephen. Don't block. Time out for 5 minutes and hide from channel if they are dissing. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, yeah, we try not to block. The only people I have blocked are like people who have literally threatened me. Traegers are awesome grills. Rich mofo. Okay, see, I don't know my grills, but that sounds good. We had grilled chicken a few nights ago. It was so good. My husband marinated and then grilled chicken. It was really good. We had like a, very cheap charcoal grill. Our first grill at our first house, a neighbor won it at an arcade and gave it to us. It was like the cheapest grill ever, some like off brand, but it was a free grill, we used it for years. Dawood, Dawood, I'm 38. Buffalo is the number one meat listed for health. Oh, that's so interesting. I used to eat a lot more buffalo meat acid burn. I don't You know what? I don't know if they have it at this Walmart. They sold it at our Walmart near us in Indiana. It's interesting. We live kind of like in between two Walmarts where we're at. And the one that's like a smaller town, I think I like it better. Like they have better things there. And you'd think the smaller town wouldn't have, like they have organic cheese sticks. And the other one doesn't. Truth is, it's my brother's. He's the rich mofo, Steve. Air fryers are the shit too. Thank you, Dawood. Steven said that about air fryers. Steven, that's so funny to me because my sister, like, I don't want to tell her business, but if you guys ever like the lipstick I put on was like this expensive brand. I don't have it near me, but I was like, oh gosh, if somebody saw this, they're gonna think that I'm lying about being poor. My sister gives me a lot of stuff. She's given me like 3 or 4 Coach purses. Like, if you ever do see me out and I'm wearing a Coach purse, it's because my big sis I still get hand-me-downs from my sister. Really nice, like, skincare and makeup stuff, like serums. Like, I couldn't. I mean, I guess I could. I wouldn't wanna spend money on serums for my face, you know? But don't walk outside during deer season. I won't, JCH. We have buffalo burgers at the casino. I thought venison was the healthiest. Both are amazing. Oh, yeah. You I guess it depends on what you're going for. I have heard that buffalo is, like, the best lean am I thinking lean? That would be venison, wouldn't it? But, did you guys know if you ate nothing but rabbit meat, you would eventually, like, starve to death because there's no fat in it. No fat. So it would be good to, for a short amount of time, but you can't live off of it. Hey, Tim, how are you doing? I'm okay. I feel better now. I was telling people earlier I've had kind of a hard week, but I'm going to make it. It's the price I had to pay for not getting cancer. So that's what I tell myself every day. But then again, I think that's why I like kind of ignore it. Like, I should have gone to her a few weeks sooner than I did. And like I ignore like, because I'm like, well, at least I don't have cancer. But yeah, this sucks to be 7 months out from surgery and still might need another surgery. And I don't mean to be graphic, but you guys know what part of my body I'm talking about, right? It really genuinely sucks. It's like I've had 3 babies. I've had 5 rounds of biopsies on my cervix, 1 mass removed from my cervix. I've had so many painful procedures and so much pain down. I have 2 inguinal hernias, which are in my groin. It's like I've just like, and I have a bladder condition. So I have like so much pain. It's like I take kratom every day. So I think anybody in my situation would be taking something every day. I mean, but I'd like to not. Is your sister married since I can't have you as a person? Yes, she is married. And I love her husband so much. Like, she makes me so proud. I don't want to cry, but like, you guys, if I didn't have my sister, I don't think I'd be here right now. She really is my other half, and she really has done more for me than any other person, I would say, including my parents, honestly. So yeah. Bison, not buffalo. You're right. Okay, Steven, thank you for saying that. Okay, you're so right. Bison. Yes. Oh shoot, there I go touching my nose. Oh, it reminds me of the Buffalo Soldier song. Now I got that in my head. I love Bob Marley. That's Bob Marley, right? I love your reindeer antlers, Tim said. Thank you, Tim. Never stop looking for Jesus, never give up hope. Foamy the squirrel. I do look up to Jesus, and I don't call myself a Christian, but I appreciate that sentiment because I think you can't go wrong with looking for Jesus, right? No, Sly Fox, this isn't a fetish thing. This is a Halloween thing. You do know it's Halloween in a few days, right? My mom had a complete hysterectomy, Stephen said. Oh, bless her heart. It's the second most common surgical procedure in women in the US. I don't know if you're in the US, Stephen, but it is so freaking common. And like, most women do fare better than me. Thankfully, I'm glad. I saw a post on Reddit. It was like a 70-year-old that had like staples, like 40 staples, because she was open wide open. And it's like she's doing better and shorter. It's so frustrating. But I do believe the autoimmune issues that caused me to not be able to beat the high risk HPV, which gave me the precancerous lesions, is the same reason I'm not healing right. Right. And like, I need to be better to myself. I don't drink beer that much. I have been drinking beer more in the last few weeks. I don't think anybody could blame me, but really, I shouldn't put any alcohol in my body at all because it is poison, and anybody with any health issues at all should not be drinking alcohol. And I tell myself that, but then, I wait till the very end of the night. You don't have to believe in Jesus to have a higher power, Nevada, Stephen said. You're in Nevada. Oh, that's so cool. And I agree with you, Stephen. This is how I look at it. Is like Jesus is a part of the higher power that we all believe in, whatever you believe in, whatever God you believe in, religion you subscribe to. And I don't mean to like, I mean this in the most loving way possible. I don't mean this in like, once again, a patronizing, condescending way. It's like, we all believe in the ultimately the same higher power. Even if you're a deer in the woods. You guys don't understand how many times I've went out with my dogs and I'm not always good about bringing we have, like, this big flashlight, and my husband's always like, "You need to bring that out every single time," like, "Yeah, I know I should, but I don't," and, usually they just run off, and, like, I just know the way deer sound running at this point. The other night, well, it's been, like, a week, I was out with my boy dog, and there was, like, something in the woods that just, like, kept going back and forth, like, near where we were, and I didn't have the light, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, is that a bear? Because there are bear here," and I had one neighbor, I don't wanna call him crazy, but if any of our neighbors were crazy, it would be this guy, and he was the one guy that's like, "Be careful," because he saw my son running a mile, and he's like, "Be careful, there's bear, we've seen bear here," and I'm like, "Oh, okay," like, um, I know there's bear around here, but, like, we don't put our trash in bins, like, there's, like, resident bears when people have to lock their trash up. You guys know what I'm talking about? Ever been somewhere where people have to, like, lock their trash up? I thought I'd have to get Jesus on you, Slyfox. I didn't see that at first. If it's flammable, it's probably not meant to be drank, Oak Grower said. Oh, yeah, you're right. Isn't it sad that they made it legal before they made marijuana because of a nylon patent? That's what I think really happened was like when nylon was patented, they wanted to do away, like demonize. It was more like demonizing hemp. And with that came marijuana, and it's such a shame. Think about how different the world would be if we used that plants for everything we could, Okie. I know you get it. I was shot. A 6-month-old guy um broke my back. I got two big old gases in the top of my head. He shot my top of my shoulder and it came out my armpit because he found out I wasn't his child. Acid burn. You were shot at 6 month old. You were 6 months old and you were shot. I'm so sorry. That is so horrible. I don't even know what to say to that. That was one of the worst things I've ever read in my life. I'm so sorry. I mean, true evil would who would shoot a baby? Brown nose. It's black technically. Hey Javier, how are you? I like wine. Aldi has good cheap wine. Rochelle, yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. I have gotten lots of Aldi wine in my time. I am a bit of a wino. If I do buy alcohol for myself, it's going to be red wine, but because I don't have like enamel on my teeth, I had a dentist put on fake veneers. This was like 11 years ago. They were temporary. He told me they were real ceramic. And when they popped off, I was pregnant. So I had to walk around. He had like drilled the top of my two front teeth. Oh, I was so mad. Looking back, I think he did that so they'd have, like, something to stick to. I don't know, I'm not a dentist, but the point is, I can't whiten my teeth, like, since then. I think I've built my enamel up with the use of the hydroxyapatite toothpaste that helps, but, um, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna show you guys because I just got some in the mail, and I think this is so important, especially with the way dental insurance is in our country right now, and I know what it's like to have teeth issues, and it's, like, embarrassing and all that. Okay, it's backwards. Bio repair. You can get this on Amazon. I know. I wish I didn't have to support Amazon all the times that I do too, but I do sometimes. It's kind of stupid. Zinc hydroxyapatite. Okay. That's a active ingredient. They use this like in Japan. There's other countries where they're regrowing teeth. They're never gonna like want you to know about this here because all they care about here is like drilling and filling and making as much money as possible in this for-profit healthcare system. And like I used a product to try to get rid of my cancerous lesions, which was from Italy called Papillo Care because they actually try to help women not get cervical cancer there once again when it's not for-profit healthcare. So yeah, I really like, and it has xylitol in it, which is also good for rebuilding. They said back in the day there was no such thing as rebuilding enamel. Once it was gone, it was gone. When that shit happened with my the fake veneers on my front teeth. But anyways, I would love to get some work done and like fix this tooth, but it's like I don't at the same time, yeah, after everything I have been through, I'm glad to have all the teeth I have. And I'm probably never like if I had it my way, I'd never go to a dentist again, even though I probably should. But like I don't think anybody could blame me. But that stuff, it okay. It might seem expensive, But I promise, if you have tooth sensitivity, it's worth a try. It's not just like Sensodyne. Like Sensodyne always helps me be less sensitive, but this actually like like you can stop it and you won't be sensitive in a day or two like with Sensodyne again. You know what I mean? Like it actually builds up your enamel. No, we don't. You believe in a single deity, Stephen said. Hi, Joseph. Thank you, Gary. Iraqi dinar revelation buy some tonight online. Last chance. I don't know what that is, Robert. I live in Carson City. We have bear boxes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. That's a good way to say it. I'm going to use that term from now on, bear box. I did get this book. I have a feeling this guy might have unsubbed for me because like we went back and forth a little bit on a live and then he said sub to me. I don't know. I just haven't seen him again. But this book of something somebody told me to get. I found it $5 used online. If anybody ever has book recommendations, I do take those to heart. And then if I can find it for like $5, like I did this one. Yeah, it's crazy. MJ is so much healthier than alcohol. I know. And the way that they made it. Have you ever seen Reefer Madness? We watch an actual old movie. It's so the way they make, oh my gosh, like the propaganda. If you guys didn't know, in that Reefer Madness movie, it's like, I don't know, what is it? Like from the 40s or 50s, maybe 60s. And it literally says like it makes you go crazy smoking marijuana and it makes white women want black men. I have, no, I don't have eyeshadow on. I just have eyeliner. 6-month-old, I'm so sorry it made me a genius, especially in psychology. I watched people and learned a lot as a child. I'm a physicist, Acid Burn said. Don't be sorry. Like, no, I don't want you to be sorry for sharing that. I just hate hearing that that happened to anybody. I'm sorry that happened to you. Steven, Tony, anything that isn't man-made is. I don't know what you're trying to say, Tristane. Chew the cocoa leaves and you don't get addicted like you do powder. Acid, why my son is a clinical psychologist. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if it probably would be because kratom is just like the powdered leaves, but kratom is so hard to quit. Like, you have pretty eyes and a pretty smile. Thank you, Tim. I think if children have a rough life at the beginning, it really makes them wise. Acid burn, yeah, um see, it's the kind of thing like I don't feel like my childhood was that hard, but when I go to counseling, like, I'm sorry you have to laugh at it. This one guy's like, "You've been through more than anybody I've ever counseled before," and I'm like, I guess that's coping. That's probably like my trauma. It just makes me want to laugh. I'm like, whatever. I'm sorry. I just all the horrible things I've heard of. Like, have I really? But then, and recently I had somebody that was like, like it's okay. You don't have to like live in it, but like, you were failed. Like that's it. And then like, it does make you learn a lot more than if that's what like people say people are born with a silver spoon that don't ever have to worry that much about anything. They tend to be impeded in a way by never having gone through something or things. Tristan, you're from Kentucky. That's cool. It almost looks like eyeshadow, but it sure makes your eyes stand out more, Tim said. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's like I laid the eyeliner on thick. And my I need to get someday soon I'll get new ring lights. My ring lights are so wonky. 1936 was when Reefer Madness was made. Thank you for that, Stephen. Yes, that sounds about right. Oh my gosh, it is just it's really wild. And I never thought in my lifetime I would see them allow as much of it's medical here in Kentucky now. Well, like therapy, a therapist said that uh I went to premarital, well, we considered it premarital counseling with my husband for a while, and it was really neat. This guy was talking to us in a room, but there was a camera on us. And then there was like a handful of experts who were like, I don't know if you would residency or something. So he was like a newer therapist himself. But he had been there a few years, I don't know what the deal was, but he basically would go and consult with them, so it's like we had like a handful of people giving us our therapy. I thought that that was so cool. And if everybody could get that, you're really putting a lot of faith into the hands of one person. And it's hard to find a therapist that's the right fit. Um, I'm having an okay day, Tristane. How are you? I'm okay, Tim. Oh, I was talking earlier about how I've been dealing with some pain, but I'll be fine. Fine. Yeah, the longer I talk, I can feel it. Like my sinuses literally, I don't think they're inflamed. That's what they feel like though. They feel like they're like more down on top of my tongue in the back and like I get more nasally. I don't like my voice either. And I think you guys are so sweet that you listen to me at all. Steven, I'm 38 and I feel old. I don't know how old you are. But at the same time, I know what older people that are like, you really don't feel like older than what you are at heart. And like, I'm sorry. I thought I just heard my puppy doggy. I do need I didn't take them OUT when I usually do because it was raining. And that's why I went ahead and hopped on here. Okay. She's so sweet. And ever since she was spayed, she can't hold her poo in as good as it's like she does. But like if she whines by the door, I need to take her. And Mr. Hippie, how old? I'm 72, Gary said. Oh, thank you, Tim said. Well, I'll be praying. That's really sweet. That's all we can do. It is getting better. It was worse and now it's getting better. So there's that. Here's the book for you to read. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. Are you being serious, Acid Burn? Is that like an epic poem like the Odyssey or something? Is that like an old book like that? I've never heard of that before. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Stephen is 62. I feel old and I'm only 35, Tim said. I know what you mean, Tim. Timbo, it gets worse, Stephen said. Yes, Tristane, I am from Kentucky. I was born in Louisville and I live here. You're 38 too. That's cool. I'm a hippie, 50, Oki said. You look like you're 28. No way. Oh, Tony. I I did get that from people that I worked with. I usually got people guessing I was around 30, which was nice. That's why when the trolls tell me I look like super old, I'm like, sometimes on it, like these lights almost see, these are supposed to be like white. That doesn't really show up that great. These lights, like, it's funny, they even out my skin tone, but they actually show my fine lines and wrinkles more too. That's why I need better lights. But, like, in the factory I worked at, people would always be like, "You're that old? Oh, wow. You have an 18-year-old? Oh, wow." I used to do standing backflips. Now I fall over putting my underwear on, Steven said. That's cool you used to be able to do that, Steven. I've never been able to do a flip or a cartwheel. I'm, like, um, uncoordinated, the most uncoordinated girl I ever knew. Tim, I would have guessed 32. That's nice. Thanks, Tim. Richard said, "You look like my future ex-wife." That's such a weird thing to say. Laugh out loud, but you don't have no wrinkles. Rochelle, I'm 47. My boyfriend is 35. I guess I'm a cougar. Oh, well, whatever works for you, Rochelle. Once you're both over the age of 30, it's not that big of a deal. I've said like 10 years would be probably like my max, but at the same time, if I was single, I met somebody that was 12 years, I would be like, once you're, yeah, I would say once you're past 30, it's really like whatever. But I've told you guys the story of my father-in-law. You have to be careful. These black widows. Oh, thank you, Richard. You're welcome. It's my absolute pleasure, Tim said. Well, you guys, I think it is about time to take my dogs out. I was 18 and women were coming at me that were 33. That's wild. Was that wasn't during the sexual revolution, was it? That was after that. Rochelle got a baby deer. I hope you all have a good night. Good night, Peter. Good night, baby cat pawing. And tomorrow, I'm not quite exactly sure what I'm gonna talk about or dress up as. I have all my costumes ready. I just don't know which one I want to wear, but we'll try to have some fun tomorrow, 9 p.m. ish. Yeah, I feel bad about Mr. Carey. Mr. Carey, I don't know him personally in real life. I've spoken to him enough. I take him as a genuine person, and it makes me sad that like because people are so jealous of me and my channel. Now they're like trying to tear down this man. He was disabled from a workplace accident and is like so devoted to his family. And like, I don't know. It's just, it always happens to people like that, right? Like the people that don't deserve it get shit on the most in this world. And I hate it. I'm sorry to be so negative with all my pain and stuff, but I love you guys. I love you, Jesus. I love you, baby cat pawing. I love you, Oki. I love you, Tim. I love you, Tristan, even though I just met you. I love you, Oki. Did I say that? I love you, As Burn. Love you, Peter. Love you all. Love you, Steven. I hope I see you again, Steven. It was nice talking to you. Sorry if I missed anybody. Take care. Have a nice walk. Be safe, Lydia. I hope you feel better. Yes, I'm going to take out my flashlight. I'm going to take my antlers off. I'm going to wipe this off. It'll be really easy to wipe off. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this, you guys. I got it at a Halloween store. How is this supposed to last trick or treating? And you have a little kid and you put, I would be so disappointed in this. I could do better with activated charcoal from my medicine cabinet. You know what I mean? Or, like it would still smudge a lot, but I think it would like more pigment would stay on than this. Oh, acid burn. Don't start that.